could you let me first, like, can you introduce yourself in Spanish? Do you know something about in Spanish or nothing?
Sí, yo hablo poquito español.
Ah, okay.
Porque yo aprendí español en Costa Rica a 10 años atrás. Pero, no sé, es difícil hablar en español porque mi italiano es mejor que mi español y yo pienso en italiano cuando yo hablo español.
Ya, sí, casi son poquitas palabras las que cambian.
Sí, sí.
Sí, bueno, entonces hago como que la introducción.
Sí.
Y ya, pues empezamos.
¿Cómo se dice? Sono italiano. Yo soy. Oh my God, Dios mío.
Estoy es been here.
Yeah, so yo soy.
Soy is I am.
Yo soy Mike de Rumjacks.
Yeah, Mike. Okay, well, it's hard to make some kind of videos in two languages, so take me patience.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna start, so. Hola amigos de Pólvora, yo soy André y aquí estoy con Mike de The Rumjacks que acaban de sacar un nuevo disco que se llama Hestia y son una bandota de punk celta poca madre. Así que vamos a darle la bienvenida a Mike. Hello, hi Mike.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Perfecto. You speak a little Spanish because you've been in Costa Rica.
Sí, yo estudié la selva.
En la meritita selva y donde dicen que la vida es bella en Costa Rica. Qué cosa más bella. So, let's start. So, how did you end up being on the Rumjacks, being from Boston, but with an Aussie band?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a long trip to be there.
Yeah, so I have a band back in Boston, like a punk rock band called Mickey Rickshaw. And we played a festival in Germany. And that's where we met the Rumjacks. They were on the festival. And I think it's just kind of like the drinking culture of Boston and Australia. They're really similar. So we just became like really good friends. And then I've seen the Rumjacks a few times throughout the years. They were in the US. So I had them at my apartment. I cooked them pasta. We hung out. And then, when they decided that they needed to continue the band without their old singer, I was the first one they called.
Okay, so it's just a call and you said yes, I will be there. But how did you make the album? So because I know you're a songwriter, but I think they had already songs for this new album. But what did you make for this record?
No, I wrote the whole album.
The whole album, so that's very cool, man.
Yeah, so they had a lot of song ideas. I think so. We went into the studio with about 30 songs that we weren't sure what to use. So out of the 15 that we recorded, the 15 that we put on the album, 13 of which were just my songs, and 2 of which they wrote the music for and stuff like that. But they still helped out on every song,
But these songs, do you have it for already the latest band, or you start from zero to Hestia?
Yeah, no, I started from scratch because the last songwriter, Frankie, he was a really good songwriter. And I was like, well, I don't want to compare myself to him or anything. It's not a good way to think about things. So I said, all right, I'm just going to write the best songs that I can. I'm just going to focus, take this time in quarantine, and just write music. And extremely happy with what we came up with.
It was like a kind of dream come true, right? Because you start like the new guy with a band who had already a big success in Europe, some kind on the US and Australia. But for example, you were not so far from here, but how did the guys see Latin America? It seems like a very strange public for a Celtic punk band.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. it seems that we have found like Celtic punk fans all over. Like in Indonesia, it's huge, which is like it's so crazy. You see all these yeah, these like young Indonesian kids playing like bagpipes and tin whistles, and it's yeah. I don't know. I think what it is, it's just a fun like party sounding genre. So I mean, a lot of cultures feel connected to it, especially because like Irish music. I mean, the Irish have a really sad history, and I think a lot of countries around the world have that. So I mean, I don't know. A lot of people connect with Celtic punk for a lot of different reasons, you know.
Right now that you told me that you have made all the songs, which is the biggest part of your lyrics for you on this album?
My favorite lyrics on the album would be the song "Rhythm of Her Name."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that album really. I mean, I'm sorry, that song. Something about it. It just feels like the first. I'm critical of myself, but to me, I was like, that's the first good song I've ever written, and that's how I feel about it. Like I hear that song and I'm like, yeah, that's a good one.
And the strange part of this is because it's the maybe the we can say the ballad of of the record is the slowest.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So, but we see, well, we heard that the message of this album is a lot of the old punk scene. It's you talk about gender violence, some kind of rebel air on it. So, do you think that bands of punk rock need to speak about these problems again? Because I guess I don't know if you feel the same. A lot of bands start talking about love, of relationships at a level more mainstream, we could say, like Green Day and everything like that, and they all start talking about real things.
Yeah, I mean, my belief is that people should write about whatever they feel inspired by. And I wouldn't say like punk bands should have to be political, you know. I would never force that on anyone. If someone, I mean, there's a lot of topics within politics that I don't feel comfortable like singing about because I don't know, you know, there's a lot of changing stuff. When you write a song, that's out there forever, you know. um so I that's why I say like I never force people to be political. And with some of the songs on this album, there's a lot of themes of like rebellion and like yeah, there's definitely a lot of like you know, suggestions of like topics of domestic violence. But you know, it's all written in symbolism. It's whatever people interpret it as.
For example, but on the other side we have the Lizzie Borden. So this song, are you a horror fan or how did this came up to your mind?
Yeah, yeah. So Lizzie Borden, she, if you drive, I don't know, 45 minutes that way, you'll be at the Lizzie Borden house. It's a bed and breakfast. You can sleep in it. It's still there. Um, and I don't know, I grew up just in the area that the little nursery rhyme, it was always something we heard as kids. And I just thought like, why hasn't there been a song? I mean, there have been songs about Lizzie Borden, but I don't know. I just thought it would be a cool one to write. And also like it was interesting because she like definitely killed her parents, but she in court she was innocent because the jury at the time they thought there's no way a woman could commit such a heinous act. And it's like, dude, you're crazy if you don't know what women are capable of, you know? Like this girl literally murdered her mother, her stepmother and father, and you're in this group of men are going, there's no way she could have done that, you know? So I don't know. Different times.
And for the recording of songs, did you did they change something to for you that you're new, or did you have to adjust yourself to the dynamics of the band?
So when I was writing a lot of these songs, I was only listening to the old Rumjacks records, just the first record or the first two records. Because I wanted to be influenced and inspired by that, by that music. Because, my own music, like with Mickey Rickshaw back home in Boston, it's got its own sound. So it was tough to like make the two bands sound different from each other with the same singer. So I don't know. I took a lot of influence from the old Rumjacks songs.
On the studio, how did this happen? Because we're in the pandemic, so
Yeah.
You flew to Australia or what? Or they are based on Boston?
So the whole band is actually right now they live all over Europe. Because that's where all the festivals are. That's where they tour a lot. So right now they're all living in Europe. And our manager, he has a studio in Milan. So that's where we recorded. So we spent like 2.5 months just living in Italy recording. So the whole album was recorded in our manager's studio in Milan, which is funny because the name of the studio is Kronos. And in Greek mythology, Hestia is the daughter of Kronos.
Okay.
Which is weird because Hestia came out of the studio Kronos, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. That wasn't on purpose.
I'm talking about we will be at shows maybe this final year or maybe the 2022, but did you start talking about set lists because, well, you have new energy for the band, so yeah. Maybe you have songs that you will love to play live because maybe as a fan of the Rumjacks, you love it more than the old Rumjacks.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of old Rumjacks songs that I'm a fan of. Like I liked them before, so I'm just like, I don't know. It's going to be tricky because we're definitely doing all the old songs, the big songs and the ones that the band likes to play. But like, I don't know. They tell me not to worry about it. Johnny and Gabe, the other guys in the band, they're like, just don't worry about it. You do your thing. It'll be fine. But to me, I'm like, yo, that's just going to look like karaoke, like it's, I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that, but I really don't care. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It is what it is. The band's changing the singer. So there's going to be a lot of things that are weird about it. And then a lot of things that are good about it,
Is there any specific songs that you would like to play live from the old Rumjacks? More the most of your new album?
I mean, the new album, all those songs are written for the live show. Like the way I write, I'm imagining a crowd. I'm imagining like, stage diving and people singing along and that type of stuff. Probably because I come from the hardcore scene. But yeah, there are a lot of old Rumjacks songs that I really can't wait to play that I'm excited about. One of which is a song called The Leaky Tub. And I don't know, I just like it. It's just a good Irish song, Irish sounding song. It's an Australian with a Scottish accent, but yeah.
Did you imagine now, for example, Light in My Shadow, it's so happy to sing about it. And live, it'd be so cathartic. So have you ever imagined that live?
I actually haven't, but I don't know. It's weird because since I'm new to being in a band, the size of the Rumjacks, I'm still just like, oh, there's no way people are going to know any of the words at the concerts or the shows or anything. So I don't know. It'll be a really weird moment if I ever hear a crowd singing my song back. Because that's never really happened too much to me before,
And it's strange because it's a big band like Dropkick Murphys, and the fans know all lyrics, even if the song had 2 minutes before they release it. No, it's amazing how fans of these bands approach the band.
Yeah, it's crazy to me, man. All this stuff is new, like. It feels really weird to say, especially being in like a punk rock band, but like now we have like fans. I've never had fans before. There are people that like message me all day long and I'm just like, dude, I don't know what to say to this shit. Like it's weird, but I don't know.
Did,
Uh,
did, did people just start sending you, I want to take a picture, I want the autograph, everything? Because, well, if you came from the hardcore scene, that never happens.
no.
Neither Agnostic Front or Sick of It All do it. So
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I don't know. Yeah, like my old band, we played shows with Rancid and like Flogging Molly. We did this festival cruise, Flogging Molly's cruise,
Mhm.
and like I was hanging out with Tim Armstrong, and I'm just like, this is fucking cool. And I was like, should I ask him for a photo? And I was like, no, don't do that.
Well, you can, because
I
now
don't
you're the singer of the Rumjacks. You have
know.
all doors open for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Uh, I guess the biggest song you heard before from the Rumjacks was the Irish pop song. So they say that in each country they were, they are an Irish pub there. So are you ready for this pub trip?
Yeah. So the thing about that song is it's making fun of Irish pubs. It's making fun of like fake Irish pubs in all these places, just being like, oh, we'll throw a shamrock on the wall and we'll call it an Irish pub. Um, but it's funny because a lot of people a lot of the lyrics are like tricky to understand even as an English speaker. So I feel like a lot of the fans don't know. They just think we're like, yay, we love Irish pubs. But I don't know. It's funny. I know that joining this band, there's going to be a lot of people handing me shots of whiskey, and I'm ready for it.
And you know you have to sing it every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you will hate it in a year, but you have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
One important question is right now is, which is the best beer, Guinness or Corona?
I mean, I love Guinness, but yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. So I feel, which is big here. I don't even know if it's big there. I don't know.
It's big, so
Yeah. But I like Guinness. I honestly do drink a lot of Guinness. It's probably my favorite that I can get everywhere. But if I'm going with like, a lager, I usually just get Corona. So it's funny because those are my two common ones.
And well, we know the one important thing about touring is the catering. So are you which beer are you gonna ask for?
I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. I didn't think about that.
And that's
So
because you were from the hardcore scene who never gets catering. So
yeah, I know. We've never had a rider.
no.
I don't know. I guess here's the thing. If we're playing a big show, I get like nervous. Like I get shaky and I'm like, I need to like calm down.
Mhm.
So my trick for that is I drink red wine because
Okay.
I love red wine. Maybe it's the time I spend in Italy. I don't know. Um, I have no idea. I just know the amount that this band tours. I'm not going to be able to drink every night. That's going to be so bad for my health. So, like, dude, I'm healthy. I get up. I like to go running. Like, I like feeling healthy. But now this band is like, oh, you're going to party all the time. And I'm like, oh, all right, let's do it.
That's a hard work, but someone have to do it. So talking about hard works, you have 4 videos made from this record already.
Mhm.
So first of all, are you familiar with doing videos like this? And we're not in the MTV scene era again. That happened 20, 30 years ago. So does it makes the value the effort of making videos, even if it's just for YouTube?
I think so because if you make like a really good music video, it showcases just the band's creativity in a lot of different ways. And like, so my job before the Rumjacks, I'm a filmmaker. So that's what I do like for a living. So when they were like, hey, do you want to direct music videos for the band? I was like, hell yeah. So I directed our videos except for Hestia. That was an Italian director. But yeah, I don't know. It was really fun. But doing Sainted Millions, that music video, it was just a really fun project to work on. And then we're doing another video for Rhythm of Her Name. And I'm in pre-production for that now. So I don't know. I like it.
And talking about physical albums, are you? I guess so. You're a fan from have your record on physical. So, but digital also makes it's nice because everybody can hear it, but it didn't feel the same as smelling and put it on your system and put and play. So, which side are you? From the physical, the digital? Why?
So the digital, if it wasn't, if it was bad, people wouldn't do it.
Mhm.
It's the convenience that I do like as a musician that gets your music out to so many people that wouldn't hear you. And then the people that really care, yeah, there's obviously something way, something way better about, putting on a record to listen to. It's much more intentional. But like with our record, it's a double vinyl. So it's kind of annoying because it's like, if I want to listen to the record, do I have to flip it and change it like a bunch of times? Like
Mhm.
messes up the flow. So I don't know. I'm like 50-50 because I love vinyl. But there's something convenient about digital that like, yeah, obviously that's why it's so big.
Do
But
you still buy CDs?
I don't buy CDs. I don't have anything. I have nothing to put a CD into.
Ah, okay, yeah, because this starts to disappear that, but I guess you were from that era, CDs and cassettes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, CDs are good for the car. I don't have a car right now, so I live in
Not those CDs.
I live in a part of Boston that I cannot have a car in. It would be impossible. Um, but I don't know. I remember like back when my old bands would burn CDs, and we would go in the parking lots at shows and just give them to people in the parking lot just so that they had the CD in their car.
Ah, talking about Boston, how big is that this scene, this Celtic punk scene there?
Pretty small. It is a pretty small scene. And I mean, of those types of bands, there's only two that I can think of. And it's the big one that everyone knows, the Dropkick Murphys, and then it's Mickey Rickshaw. But there's like a lot of other punk bands, but I don't know. Boston's an interesting place. It's a small city. People don't realize how small it is. But yeah.
I'm talking about Dropkick. We saw the band playing with the Boston Bruins and Red Sox and everything. Did you imagine the Rumjacks doing the same? Do you maybe on a New England Patriots game could be
I don't know.
great?
I mean, like, it would be cool. It would be really cool. If anything, I think it would happen in Europe with like a football team, like a soccer team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I feel like that's more realistic for the Rumjacks. But it
On
would be cool.
Italy, on Italy, maybe on the Milan or Inter de Milano.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows, man? I know they're some of the guys in the band are big fans of Everton in the UK.
Okay.
So I think that would be the one they'd be trying to get.
Yeah. That would be great. So next for the Rumjacks, what do you think they're planning to do? Well, when the pandemic's over, or maybe kind of over.
We're hitting the road. We're playing everywhere. 2022. I'm not gonna be in this apartment at all. We're gonna be on the road. They're talking about like North America, Canada, Japan, other parts of Asia, South America, Central America. So they want to go everywhere, and I'm just like, all right, let's do it.
And for example, for these tours, they all are big festivals or big places, or maybe I guess you're more comfortable with smaller places because of the hardcore. You're more acceptable with that. So is everything big with the Rumjacks?
um, I've been looking at a lot of their shows on YouTube, and I was sitting with them, and I'm like, wait, are you guys headlined this in Greece? And they're like, yeah, it was like 1,400 people, and I'm like, so you guys are big? And they're like, yeah, you joined the band, and I'm like, interesting. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. A lot of like the tours that we canceled over the last year, like a lot of the shows were sold out
Okay.
on like big venues. So I think the band is just been growing. They've just been getting bigger. So that's also why I was nervous about about joining, because it's like, are people gonna like the new music? But they have.
And also, it's a band who's working every day on new music because in 12 years they had like 6 records. So with EPs and non plays and everything, it's like they're always producing something.
Yep, they are hard workers. That band, like their manager, he should be in the band. That dude works so hard. He's like an honorary band member.
Mhm.
Yeah, they really work hard.
Okay, and hope to see you in Mexico one time because they never came. We have Dropkick, we have Flogging Molly, sorry.
Yeah.
So we need a Rumjacks. So thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to Mexico. I haven't been in a while.
You've been here playing or with holiday?
No. So I filmed a documentary in Tijuana.
Okay. Uh-huh. About?
Deported migrants. What happens to people when they're sent home from the U.S.?
Mhm.
Not home, sent to Mexico. These are people from Honduras and that are now living in a shelter. So I did a documentary, just talking about their stories and just hearing stories from them. It was called Siempre Juntos.
And it has to be very hard for you because there are stories that you never imagined that could be real.
Yep.
Here, I live where the Bestia passes, the big train, and you see every week some Hondureños asking for help. So
yeah,
it has to be very strong.
Yeah, and like we as Americans, there's a lot of different Americans. A lot of us want to help, and we're neighbors. We're all brothers, brothers and sisters. So yeah, I don't know. So I wanted to make this to kind of tell some people's stories and get young people, because it was for a YouTube channel, and get young people, seeing what's happening, to make people realize that people are people everywhere, no matter what lines are drawn around them.
So how can we find this documentary?
It's on YouTube. I believe it's called Siempre Juntos, on the channel called TFIL.
In Spanish, Siempre Juntos.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. We're gonna check it out.
Yeah.
And thank you, Mike. I'm very pleased to meet you, and hope you get the time of your life because everything seems so cool right now.
I'm extremely grateful. So I'm just trying to like really, appreciate everything.
Okay, well, thank you. And something you want to say to the people of Pólvora?
The people of Pólvora. I'm sorry this interview was in English. I wish I could speak better Spanish. So a lot of respect. And hopefully the Rumjacks are going to be in Mexico. And it's going to be no Guinness, only Corona.